everybody, and Bungie has put out their weekly update, which included some pretty good information for fellow PvPers. But before I get into that, I just want to touch on the gameplay a little bit. This is Inferno Control, obviously, because there's flags and there's no map, so obviously it's Inferno Control. And it was one of those games where you just feel like stuff is going good. You know when you're running around and you're killing people and you're just like, I'm doing things this game. And it was one of those games where I was just constantly behind them. Obviously that's taking advantage of it being Inferno. So I was just constantly behind the enemy team, constantly trying to figure out where I could be in order to be in a place where they have no clue that I'm there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that gameplay. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm using 2 to the Morgue as my shotgun, by the way, because you guys do tend to ask what I'm using. It's 2 to the Morgue. Now, moving on to the Bungie weekly update. During the Reef tour, there was something that Deej kind of left out that he was supposed to tell us, and that is what exactly are we going to be doing with Vanguard commendations and Crucible commendations. So I'm sure, as you guys know, these are things that you get in packages when you rank up your Vanguard and Crucible, and in the current state of the game, you needed these commendations in order to purchase stuff from the vendors. So Crucible armor, Vanguard armor, weapons, etc. You are not going to need these commendations to purchase stuff from vendors in the future, and of course they have to think of a way to use the commendations. You can't just have this useless thing sitting in your inventory. So what you're going to be able to do is use the commendations to get 250 reputation points, whether that's for Vanguard or for Crucible. So if you have a bunch of commendations stacked up, I know I definitely do because I just don't have anything to purchase anymore, you're going to be able to use them to level up really quickly, which is really exciting going into a new DLC, because we're going to be able to get like 2 or 3 packages right off the bat as soon as the DLC drops, which could give us some brand new armor and some brand new weapons. So I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna have a good amount of Crucible packages as soon as the game comes out. So I'll make sure to show you guys my little setups of what I've been getting, or I'll just get really unlucky and get no armor or weapons in my Crucible package, and then I'll just be sad and report on how sad I am. Another thing in the Bungie update for us PvPers is we've officially been told what we're getting in the Iron Banner, which is next week, and we're finally getting helmets. Finally! Iron Banner has been going on since the beginning of the game, pretty much, right? We were playing it in beta, and we have never been able to even see the helmet. Like, I've seen it in pictures or whatever, but we've never seen it in game. We've never had the opportunity to actually be able to get the freaking helmet. So we are gonna have the opportunity to pick up the Iron Banner helmet this time around. We don't know what weapons we're gonna be getting, that hasn't been told yet, but I'm just very excited to be able to get the freaking helmet. Although I will say that I don't think the Hunter one looks that good. I think the Titan one looks the best in my opinion, and I think the Hunter one's probably my least favorite, which is it's disappointing, but it's Iron Banner gear. I always wear Iron Banner gear because I don't know, I just like it. So it's gonna be nice to be able to have the full set at least and be able to go into the Crucible with the full set of Iron Banner gear and be like, look at me, I grind Iron Banner, praise me. So the Iron Banner will be open again for us next week. It was supposed to be this week, but they wanted to give players enough time to adjust to the patch. And speaking of the patch, something that I just want to talk about a little bit, one complaint that I saw about Inferno in general before was that everyone was running around with shotguns, even more so in Inferno, most likely because it's extremely easy to get behind people and get close enough to kill them with a shotgun. So people started to not really enjoy it because it was just shotguns everywhere. It was just shotguns everywhere, and because there's no radar, it was kind of hard to keep a track of for a lot of people. With the ammo changes, this actually affected Inferno way more than it did just regular Crucible, in my opinion. I've definitely seen a lot less people running around with shotguns only, and if they are, they're using Universal Remote, which actually makes me really happy. Even when I get killed by Universal Remote, I'm just like, he's using the remote. I respect it because that is the role that Universal Remote is supposed to have, right? If you want to run around with a shotgun, then you're supposed to have to use Universal Remote because of the limited special ammo. So I'm really happy that this change has affected Inferno Control. I really love this game type a lot. I wish it was around forever because I would just play Inferno Control. It's so much fun. I really love abusing the fact that it's Inferno and constantly figuring out where I have to be in order to abuse it. And I think a lot more when I play Inferno Control. Like when I'm playing regular Control, I'm not really thinking. I'm not being a master tactician. But during Inferno Control, I do find myself really thinking about things more and contemplating like where I want to go in order to try and take advantage of the fact that I'm behind them and they don't know where I am. So that is it for the Bungie weekly update. I'm happy to know about the commendations. I'm super happy with the Iron Banner helmet. Let me know in the comment section what you think about all of this stuff, and I'll speak to you awesome people later. Bye.